are not working, you do not have remedy. You buy an iron, you take it, you buy a kettle, you take it home, it's faulty, you don't have a remedy. People assure you of a service, you contract for it, you pay for it, the service is not provided according to what you agreed upon, and you have no remedy. So that is why the president is instructing that as quickly as possible, we put together a legislation which is fit for purpose and which will create a state agency, an authority, or a commission that will be responsible for consumer protection, so that we have clarity when it comes to the legal, the statutory regime that deals with consumer protection in our country. And we also have the institutional framework which will give backing to whatever legislation we pass here in cabinet. And in the coming days, we have a bill which is ready. We just left with 1 or 2 consultations which will be ready. And I'm hopeful that in a matter of days, not weeks, as caretaker minister for trade and industry, I will sign it off to cabinet, and cabinet will examine it and hope that cabinet will approve it, which will mean that we'll come back to this house in parliament. And I see that the sentiments in parliament suggest that there will be a lot of enthusiasm and support for this kind of legislative intervention. And hopefully when we're able to pass it through the parliament, Ghana will then, for the first time, have a Consumer Protection Rights Act. We will have a piece of legislation which deals with consumer protection, which will culminate into having a state agency which will be responsible for ensuring that we protect consumers in our country. That's the gist of what we came to say in Parliament. And regimes which are fit for purpose. You go to Nigeria, they have one. You go to Kenya, they have one. You go to South Africa, they have one. You go to the United Kingdom, they have one. You go to the United States, Canada, and several countries have fit for purpose consumer protection regimes. And as it should be, I mean, almost all developed countries, you will find that there is a well-structured consumer protection architecture which protects consumers. For some reason, we in Ghana have not been successful at putting in place a consumer protection regime. We have some level of consumer protection in some institutions scattered around the governmental architecture of our country. National Petroleum Authority will be the regulator when it comes to petroleum sector. You will find the National Communications Authority dealing with electronic issues and several others. The utilities, we have the public utilities regulatory outfit which will respond. But we do not have a one-stop single piece of policy and legislation which deals with consumer protection. So is it also that we do not have one authority, agency, commission, outfit of government or state that is solely responsible for consumer protection. It has therefore resulted in a situation where when citizens and consumers found themselves in a situation where they've gone to buy goods or procure services and the standards are not up to the standard that are required, they are left to themselves. They are left to their own devices. And I gave the example. You go to a shop and it is written boldly there that goods purchased are not refundable. How can that be? That you purchase a good, whether it's substandard, whether what you bought for it doesn't give you value for money, whether there's no proper quid pro quo, and so on and so forth. You are left to your fate. You buy a vehicle, you take it to your home, within 3 days, the brakes are not working, you do not have remedy. You buy an iron, you take it, you buy a kettle, you take it home, it's faulty, you don't have a remedy. People assure you of a service, you contract for it, you pay for it, the service is not provided according to what you agreed upon, and you have no remedy. So that is why the president is instructing that as quickly as possible, we put together a legislation which is fit for purpose and which will create a state agency, an authority, or a commission